when you make an altar to the Lord, it shall not take a tool upon that stone, it shall not be a hewn stone, and there shall not be steps going up to it. That's an altar to the Lord, a Hebrew Benjamin tribe. Look, no steps going up to it. That's as simple as it is. No church is needed or anything like that. And you're supposed to have parties and raves and rest for a year. Not have a bank holiday once every now and again. You're not meant to be a slave. You're not meant to work every day of your life. As a matter of fact, for 1 year, every 7 years, every 6 years, the 7th year, you're supposed to rest and have a party. That's what God wants for you. He wants you to party around these old Hebrew altars. There's about 190 known. They wrecked a load of them, and they're in the process of wrecking them. So, your bank holiday, you think you're doing you a favour by giving you 1 day rest every now and again. No, you're supposed to have 1 year of rest, and you let the land rest, and you party, and you multiply, and you have children, and you don't worry about the heathen on their way. It's easier under the yoke of Jesus. So now me, I'm a wanted man here in Ireland. I'm a wanted man by the cult in Ireland. The cult in Ireland has targeted me for exposing them, which was I was supposed to do. I'm not worried about them. Now they're harassing me family. It started off years ago, but I walked through the airport. They took my passport and then arrested me in the airport for not having one. After the British people in the Heathrow airport let me through on a picture. And then they ambushed me, threw me in jail. Now I went into court the other day and I said to the cop, it's on the Instagram, you can see it. Do I have a warrant? He says, you have a warrant? I says, where's the warrant? I have no warrant. I says, have you got a warrant? He says, no, I haven't got one. I says, arrest me. He says, I haven't got a warrant. So, and then next thing they're around me Ma's family with an imaginary warrant. This has been going on for years. Now the last time they nicked me on a warrant, they put me in prison and tried to throw me down the stairs. And there's a very good reason for that. It mightn't be apparent to all of you, but I'll tell you what the reason is. When I was on the Hill of Tara in 2016, I went undercover. I didn't know what was going on, so I went up there with an open mind and an open heart, and I listened to both sides of the argument. And a lot of them were new age, fluffy fucking weirdos, and a lot of them weren't. But this is one thing you can be certain of. From my bloodline is Benjamin. We come from the direct lines of King Mill, Miletians, the sons of Mill, King Arthur, Athelstan, along that line down as far as King David, Jesus and stuff like that. He's from a similar bloodline to me. Yeah, I'm a ram of Nebaioth. I'm sealed on the forehead. Yeah, anyone doesn't believe me, take a look at me pictures on Instagram, you can see them. So here we have, they took a tool upon this stone, so they polluted it now, look. They couldn't help but pollute it, look. Or maybe that was how they lifted it in or something. But what happens is, they sacrificed my family. When the cult gets, the first thing that happened, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the last days, the Lord Jesus says. Now in the beginning, when we came to this island, the Dan tribe, the serpents they stab you in the back, they said, come on, welcome to the island, have a party with us and all. The only reason they done that is because we had better weapons than them. Yeah? So then as soon as they got a chance, when the numbers were depleted, they murdered a lot of the sons of Mill, stabbed them in the back. Then they done witchcraft. It's all in the Book of Invasions. Look at the Book of Invasions. They're coming off the Miletians, or the Tuatha-De Danann, or the serpents, slippery serpents. They're still here now. They killed John F. Kennedy. So what we have is these people. Look, I'm talking and it's raining. Every time I talk it rains, so I don't know what it is. It's because I lied when I was 17. But anyway, the Tuatha-De Danann, they want the sacrificial king from the bloodline of Benjamin. They were talking about it a few times. I heard the whole lot of it sitting in a teepee up in the Hill of Tara in 2008. They need a sacrificial king. And I used to think, what the fuck are these on about? But I heard them joking about it a few times as well. Because one of them, they're in with the bishops, the priests and all, they're all involved in it. The bloodline of the kings, they like a sacrifice. So when you're seeing the overthrow of the King of France and stuff like that, and poor Mary Antoinette being falsely accused of saying let them eat cake, that was my bloodline. That was Charlemagne, New Calais, Callahan, Charlemagne. That was my ancestor. He was the king of France, the emperor of that part of the world. And he was Alexander Athelstan of Scotland, because he lived for many years, because there was no churches. This is all you would see. That's all you're supposed to see. You don't need to make them anymore, because Jesus came and he was the sacrificial king. But these pagans, they're hunting me now. They were hunting me last night in a van, and because I have to wear these goggles, look, because they'll just run up to me and spray me in the face. It was CS gas and start breaking me up and sticking handcuffs on me and cutting me wrists, and that's the first bit of blood they shed. And innocent blood cries out, and it's heard in heaven. So I was arrested for reading the Bible in a coffee shop. Yeah, they can say whatever they want, but I was arrested for reading the Bible in a coffee shop after I paid for a meal. I was arrested for preaching the Bible outside Trinity College, sprayed in the face with CS gas and jumped on me back by a banker. Now they're after me again, even though I turned up in court. There was supposed to be 10 witnesses in the court. When I got to the court, there was no one there. The judge seen me in the court and told me to take off the goggles because they were behind me back. I put it up on Instagram, they were going to jump on me. So I was in the court. Yeah, I have it. It's on Instagram, look at it. They wouldn't see the case. They wanted me to have a warrant so they could abuse me. They were just about to jump on me back, but they saw that I was out there putting on a bit of weight, and your man hadn't got a CS gas with him. So I says, are you going to arrest me? I says, I have a warrant to arrest me. I says, I don't have anything. I have no warrant. Because I don't have a warrant. If you put your hands in my pockets and you put my hands in my pockets on that day, there was no warrant in my pocket. Someone else had a warrant, not me. I don't have any warrants. What is a warrant? I don't issue warrants. Well, I haven't issued any yet. So now we have the enemies of the Lord. They're massing here in Ireland, because this is the battleground where they always fight, because they know these are the Isles of Elijah. Elijah the prophet. They call the Isles of Elijah. The Pope was coming over here. He knows that people are aware that he doesn't worship the Christian God, the one true God. He worships the fish mitre God. That's why he wears the funny fish hat on his head. And he's the one that steals your juice, your vapour, and that's why he come out of the water. That's why he's the fish. That's why he's the amphibian God. If you ever watch that film, you see what it means by amphibian. If you watch that film, The Abyss, you breathe. There's a fluid that you can breathe inside your lungs. They go deep in the water because they have a fluid in their lungs, especially along that. But if you look for the first fountain of youth, you'll see those big sarcophaguses inside the Egyptian pyramid. That's where they used to sit inside. And the whole of Egypt would suck up the juice of the human slaves. But then they fucked off up to the Lays. And these people worship them. Now I've been making people aware of that, and I've been telling them the truth. So now they're looking to take me out of the game. And the whole world is standing by and watching it. Now they want me back in jail. Now I haven't committed any crime. There's no crime I've committed. I haven't assaulted anybody. I've only spoken. That's all I've done. I've spoken the words in the Bible. So now they see me as a sacrificial. They want to kill me. And that would be them succeeding again, yet again, in sacrificing a son of Mill from the royal bloodline of David, from my ancestral bloodline, to the pagan heathen goddess Dana Anna. Yeah, that's what they're doing. The goddess who loves war. And that will give them another. So this is what will happen. Once they do that, they'll have another grip. They'll be able to succeeding in a big powerful witch's spell. They done with a big witch's spell outside of GPO, and when they killed all them people, and they done the Ishtar Rising. Dana Anna is Ishtar, Athena. So they're looking to do another one. So that's why they're after me. You mightn't believe in all that, but it's true. It's well known they're a bull cult. It's well known they're pagan idolaters, and they killed John F. Kennedy because he wouldn't agree to the popes. He said, would he uphold the Constitution of the America, or would he uphold canon law? And John F. Kennedy said canon law, so they killed him. That's the Dan tribe. Don't believe anything else. They whacked him because he wouldn't go in with the Pope. I'm not going in with the Pope, so they're going to try and whack me. If you don't go in with the Pope, they'll whack you. That's the Jesuit order. That's what they were designed for. Have a lovely day and God bless. maybe I'll see it again.